Hey, welcome back to Mike's Italian Grand Adventure. I've got two huge announcements today. So the first one is I've reached 1,000 subscribers. Wow, if you can believe that. I mean, I started this like 5 months ago. If you remember, I was walking through the woods and there's snow on the ground and I was talking about, this whole adventure. And man, I think I had 12 subscribers. So now I have 1,000, over 1,000. So I thank you all once again for watching and for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, and click the little bell icon so you get notified when I upload a new video every Friday morning. So the second piece of information that is super exciting, I bought a place in Italy. Okay, so pretty big news, right? Yeah, okay, didn't technically buy it yet, but I made an offer and it's called like a proposal, and then the sellers accepted it and signed the document. So I'm under contract, let's say that. But I don't anticipate any reason why I won't buy it. So when I go over this fall in September, I'll sign the document, get the keys, and be good to go. I'll have a place. So if you remember when I started this whole journey, it was really going to be a 3-step process. So the first step was exploring Italy, deciding on the region. And then the second step was to be kind of looking at properties and deciding which one I wanted to buy. And then the third part was really going to be fixing the place up and getting it moving in and going through that whole experience and sharing all that with you. And really, actually, the next step will be living in Italy, just sharing all the incredible things I experience and all of the great people I meet and the parts of culture I learn about. So, of course, a lot of that's been happening the whole time. I mean, researching and being there and meeting people. So that's been really incredible. But yeah, so I'm super excited. I try not to get excited with real estate until it's past a point. I think we're there now. I think it's pretty well locked in. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys as well. That's why I didn't say anything last week. If you might remember from last week, I gave you a couple of teasers, said something might be in the works. So it was. So anyway, this morning I received the signed contract. So yeah, awesome, incredible. So the question I'm sure all of you have is, which property did I buy? Well, I was thinking maybe we do a little bit of house hunter style here, and we see what you guys think it was. So let's start out with, is it the one that had the courtyard and the barn that had a garage on the lower level, upper level that could be fixed up, and the 2 bedrooms with 1 bathroom? That's option 1. Do you think that's the one I got? Option 2, the place that was I thought was too big initially. It had all the original tile floors. It had 2 full apartments. I had a garage and rooftop patio. Could it be number 2? Or is it number 3, the castle? Got a lot of feedback from that last week in the video. Everyone said, buy it. Oh my God, that's incredible. So did I? Did I buy the castle? So that would be number 3. Let's give you guys a little bit of time to think about it. Here, I'll show you a little bit of video of each of the ones so you can refresh your memory. I think it's a pretty cool place. If you could get that for 30,000 euros or something, 35, I think that could be a pretty good option. So there's still stuff out there. And this is like, a nice smaller size, really easy to take care of. That courtyard is all brick, so there's no maintenance. Look at that. So that's really nice. No lawn to mow really. And it looks like it's got a private gate here to get in to this area. So I don't know. I like it. Tell me what you guys think about it. But this is like the main door right here behind the car would be the main entrance. But then you walk in. This is some original tile for the floor too. Paula said it's really old, and I think it's gorgeous. I mean, it's incredible. Look at this around the edge. And then there is this view available. That was incredible. So yeah, so just look at the inside. Artwork on the walls, original, antique furniture. And I don't know if that's all included. I would guess for 1.35 it is. But yeah, just look at this detail work in the ceilings, these light fixtures, the chandeliers, some old typewriters. I mean, it's set up like a museum almost. I mean, all the artwork on the wall, the library. Yeah, really, really cool. An organ. You have your own organ. That's pretty cool. So I was thinking maybe we could do a little something like, on House Hunters, it's usually a couple or someone, and they're talking about, back and forth about which one they're going to eliminate first. So maybe we could do that. So let's start there. Well, Mike, do you have one that you don't really like that you maybe want to eliminate from the list? Well, there is one that I'm thinking about. I don't know if it's the same one you're thinking about, but, well, should we just both say it at the same time? Yeah, okay. I think that's a good idea. Let's both say at the same time which one we want to eliminate from the list. Okay, ready on the count of three. So 1, 2, 3. The one with the barn garage. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The one with the barn garage. Oh my God, we both thought the same one. That's incredible. Okay, so now it's just down to 2. Oh my God, we were both thinking the same thing. We're on the same page. So yeah, now it's down to 2. So it's either the one with the nice tile floors or the castle. Okay, down to 2. Nice tile floor or the castle. What do you think? Let's do it again on the count of 3. Which one are we going to buy? This time we're going to do which one we're going to buy. Okay, yeah, let's do which one we're going to buy this time. So on the count of 3, we're going to say which one we're going to buy. Okay. 1, 2, 3. The castle. Okay. 1, 2, 3. The castle. Oh my God. No, I'm kidding. Joking. Of course I'm not buying the castle for 1.3 million. No, I ended up making an offer on the one with the 2 full apartments and the beautiful original tile floors and the really cool cellar, had a nice garage, had the rooftop patio with like 360-degree views. Yeah, so interesting process. It's really kind of funny how that came about. But here, let me just show you a little bit of that video again so you can see what I liked about it and remind you a little bit more about it. Into this huge garage. I mean, you could easily fit, European-sized cars, 3 or 4. Car and a motorcycle, easily. So one thing to keep in mind about this place is it's 2 complete apartments. So on this first floor above the ground floor would be an apartment with a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen. And then you go up and the next floor is a bedroom, bathroom, and a kitchen. So, you could rent one out and then private doors off all this. This is some original tile for the floor too. Paula said it's really old, and I think it's gorgeous. I mean, it's incredible. Look at this around the edge. And this is kind of like a trapezoidal room, so they did a really good job. But I don't really see any cracked ones. I see one raised one right there maybe, but really incredible room. Actually, I quite like this floor in this room too, the zigzag pattern. How incredible is that? Paula said the other places we looked at were just kind of simpler homes. And this thing is elegant, for sure, elegant. I mean, incredible. So another apartment. So this is set up as a bedroom. Below it was right down below this was a kitchen. But, and then this is a big, huge living room. And look at this place. And again, some really unique tile floors. Another Hilltown with a castle. Hilltown here, Hilltown there, and then mountains. Can you see the mountains way? Okay, so if you remember when I first looked at this place, actually let's even go back. So when I met with Paula, I sent her 3 listings I wanted to look at, and that was one of them. And when we were exchanging text message back and forth, she said, I'm not going to be able to show you the one with the 2 different apartments is basically, I think, how we talked about it back then. And so I texted her back and I said, oh, that's really a pity. It's really a shame because I think of all the ones I looked at, that's the one that was most appealing to me. I mean, that's the one that had kind of checked all the boxes, right? So then we met the next day, I think it was, to look at properties. And we looked at the first one, and I think we looked at the first 2. And then she said, okay, let's go look at the one you really wanted to look at. And I said, oh, I thought we weren't going to be able to look at it. And she said, no, I was able to get the keys. So, I mean, now thinking back on that, that's kind of a pretty incredible, fateful moment that she was able to get the keys, and we did end up going look at it. So, looked at it and really loved it a lot. I thought it was beautiful. Tile floors were great. But if you remember, my initial reaction was it was too big and it was kind of too expensive. Because I didn't need a place that big, so I didn't need to spend that much, right? So as I started looking at more properties after that, it kind of moved on, and that was the one also that someone tried to snake out from under me. And if you remember, I made the decision to just kind of step aside, and I told Paula, hey, listen, if someone else wants to buy it, go ahead, and it reminds me a little bit about, if you love something, set it free. If it was meant to be, it'll come back to you. So, all right, I don't mean to get deep and philosophical here, but I like to pay attention to these little signs sometimes. So, of course, in hindsight, it's easy to look it back and you kind of think these things. So that was the fact that we were able to see it that first day, and the fact that I was willing to let it go. That was, I think, another interesting thing. But one of the things is I started looking at properties, again, lots of them, hundreds. I mean, and just nothing really clicked. And the prices, weren't that great, especially after the reduced price that the sellers were offering. So, with all that in the back of my mind, I started looking back at that place again. And I started looking at the town. And the town is incredible. I mean, a bunch of bars and restaurants. In fact, like 100 feet from the front door, there's an enoteca, a wine store, incredible wine store right there. Right next door to that is a really nice restaurant that has great reviews. I looked at the menu online. It has a nice outdoor patio. Right next to that is a little park up on the hill with a view over the hillside. So all of that really close to the front door of the house. So the town seemed really appealing to me, and the size of the town. And I started asking around a little bit. To Paula, I asked her if there was someone she knew who, did project management. Because remember, I was starting to think about renting out a floor. Originally, I didn't really want to do a short-term rental on a floor because I thought it'd just be too complicated with taxes and all this other stuff. So, of course, then I found out that they have this flat 21% tax rate if you're renting out less than 4 units, and it's super simple. And I was like, wow, okay, well, that's not really an issue anymore. So that was one of the things that really kind of made me start to think some more. Then remember, I found that company called Clean B&B that I'd reached out to them, and they do short-term property management, and they literally do everything, right? So I think it was in last week's video I said that I hadn't heard back from them. I said, well, they do everything apparently except return emails, I think was the comment I made. Well, the next day I got an email from them, and they have a person that actually does short-term rental management in this town. So, that clean B&B place, they do everything. So they do everything from listing it on different platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, other websites that you can reserve a room at. They do research to see what's the best price to make sure it's rented out with competitors. They do all the booking, the communication. They meet the person at the place, give them the keys, answer any questions. They check them out at the end. They clean the place, put new sheets on it. They even do like property management. So if like, let's say a light bulb burns out or something's broken, they can fix that. Then they'll also, do accounting, and I mean, they basically do everything. And what they charge is 30%. Okay, so we had talked about this a little bit on another video. So you only pay 30% of the nights it's booked, right? So you don't pay a monthly fee, which is great. So if it's not being rented, you're not paying anything. So you only pay out of the proceeds essentially from renting. So, I mean, that just seems incredible, right? So we were talking about this on another video. So you're paying 21% taxes, 30% for their service, right? Which couldn't really do without it, to be quite honest. And then some of the services like maybe Airbnb, I know they charge like maybe 3%, I think, to the host. 3% is what I found online. So, so you're looking at, 54%. So $100 a night, you get, $46. And then with that, you need to pay for electricity and for water. So you start to wonder, at what point does it make sense? But we'll see, hopefully, I don't know how much could rent that place out at, but hopefully more than 100. Maybe if I include parking or something, I don't know. Anyway, it's going to have a kitchen, a bedroom, a living room, and its own bathroom. So we'll see. I'll see what the going rate is and see if that's an option. But anyway, so I found that. The other thing that really was great is that I was talking with Paula, and I asked if she knew anyone around there that did property management or short-term rental management, and because I hadn't heard back from these guys yet. And she said, oh yeah, there's this guy, a British guy who's been living in Italy for like 18 years or something like that. He and his German partner live nearby, and here's his contact information. I've referred him to a couple of people, and they've been super happy. So I got in contact with him, and the guy's great. He responded to my text right away. He started telling me kind of about the area, and he said that town is incredible. Incidentally, he said the town where the house was with the little barn out in front, he said that town wasn't so nice. So he's lived in a few different areas. And anyway, so he provides services like if you want to do remodeling, help you find a contractor or even manage the project if you're not there, get the place ready for your arrival if you've been gone for a while, help you set up a bank account or, get internet set up or electricity or water, all that stuff. And then he had a fee schedule for it, which is great because, I don't want to meet someone there and become friends with them and then ask all this of them. So if this is someone who's lived there and is willing to do this, for a reasonable fee, I would much rather prefer to do that, because then you don't feel like you're putting anyone out or whatever. But anyway, we ended up chatting back and forth quite a bit, and seemed like a really great guy. And just having someone like that really also made me feel good about moving forward with the place, because quite honestly, you could buy a place in Italy in a small town and not know anyone and try to figure all this stuff out on your own and try to do everything on your own, which could be done for sure. And of course, part of the adventure. But if I don't have to, that's even better. So, all of those things, the ability to maybe rent out one level for short-term rental and generate some income, that was really appealing. And that kind of offset some of the ideas about it being too big. Because then one of those floors would be used for that. But also, I looked back at my list, and my list was a garage, big, huge garage, beautiful, right? A cellar, incredible cellar. In fact, it's got some really cool characteristics that are unique to this region. Super cool. We'll talk about that probably in another video. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. All right, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Rooftop patio, incredible views from the rooftop patio. So, I mean, it checked all the boxes. And then it had some really great, unique characteristics. I mean, the building itself is beautiful. It had the original tile floors, which I've mentioned many times. You know, just in the high ceilings and the nice windows and the balconies. And then, of course, I also talked about it wanting to have restaurants nearby and a coffee shop nearby and bars. And this town has all of those. You know, I found another website that an expat has, and they do like a kind of a party. I think the website's like Party in Piedmont or something like that. But they kind of do a party in the spring, and they just switched it over now to a fall one, kind of a Thanksgiving theme. He's an American, I think he's from California. But it was incredible. They talked about all the region around there, how amazing it was, the vineyards that are around there, all the different things to do. And it just had a huge list on this website for people who wanted to come to this party, and talked about transportation from Turin or Milan. That was another big thing on my checklist, easy transportation. So they have a bus to either Asti or to Alessandria. And then from there, there's trains that go to either Turin or Milan. And this town is kind of right in the middle of Turin and Milan. So flights into either one of those cities, easy transportation to get there. I mean, I just started going through the list and I was like, wow, this place has everything I want, really. So in the end, I thought, wow, and it was still available. And so I said, Paula, let's do it. You know, let's write it up. So there you go. Long story short. And, you know, it's again, one of those things where, you know, you can read a lot into it if you want, but when I'm thinking about fate, right? I'm thinking about, okay, the fact that I found this place and that we weren't going to see it, and then we saw it. The fact that someone else wanted to buy it and then they backed out or didn't. It's still available. The fact that it had everything I wanted on my list. The fact that it's an incredible town. Oh, the other thing I didn't even mention, that region where that town is located is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Incredible, due to the wine culture and wine landscape. So, I mean, wow, living right in the middle of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, that's astounding. So if you guys aren't familiar with UNESCO sites, they're usually like really spectacular things like the Colosseum, the Acropolis and the Parthenon in Athens. You know, these incredible archaeological, you know, obviously the pyramids, I think, are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But all these things that have a value to human culture is kind of what they're thinking about when they consider something as UNESCO property. And this area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So, I mean, the more research I did, the more I found out, the more excited I got, and the more I thought, wow, this place is amazing. I have to do it, right? So, yeah, so that's what the plan is. I'm going forward with it, right? And so there's, you know, you don't really know how anything's going to be until you live there, right? You know, it's next to the school. Maybe there's a bunch of noise there. I don't know. I think the benefit would be there's no one living there at nights and in the evenings. It's empty. So that's kind of a plus. You saw the kids in the video, right? So you're like, okay, this town is vibrant, right? There's families living there. There's kids. So that's really cool. The location right there, walkable, in a great region close to the rest of Europe, which is of course why I chose Piedmont, but really close to other places, close to the mountains, 2 hours to the coast, to the Ligurian coast, the Riviera, the Italian Riviera. Yeah, I mean, just the more I thought about it, and when I started kind of thinking about the list I had from the very beginning, I was like, man, every one of these things match it. So yeah, there we are. So the next step would be when I go over there in the spring, finalize the plans. And I probably won't do much there this spring. I'll probably wait till fall. When I go here in fall, I'll take care of it. And then I'll plan on going back in spring. And that's really when I'm gonna jump into things, because, you know, I don't want to turn the water on in the heat and just for like a week or two this fall. So I'll just wait and I'll take care of all that stuff in the spring, and I'll plan on being there for 3 months, because with my visa as an American, I can be in the Schengen area for 90 out of 180 days. So right now I'm thinking 3 months in the spring, early spring, because spring there will be a lot earlier than it is here in the Colorado mountains at 8,000 feet. So I'll go over there for an early spring, and then when I come back, it should be nice spring here in Colorado. I'll enjoy the summer here like I have this year, and then go back for the fall again, and for the harvest and the festivals. and all the stuff that goes on in the fall. So late summer when it's starting to get really hot here, or, you know, it'll be hot there obviously as well, but, you know, I'm guessing fall goes a little later there than it does here as well. So when it starts to get cold here, I should say, when winter's starting to come here, time to head over to Italy for 3 months. So I think that's going to work well for me right now. 6 months there, maybe 3 months here in the summer, 4 months here in the summer, a couple months in South America or Mexico for the winter. Yeah, man, I think it's going to work out all right. So that's where we're at right now. Just wanted to share that news with you guys. Super exciting. Yeah, just really excited about it. And I would be remiss if I didn't throw a shout out to my buddy Webby in Minnesota. He's watching every one of these videos. We went to elementary school together and then high school, and we've been friends ever since. So I mentioned to him, I texted him, told him I was putting in an offer on this place, and he said, I can't wait to see this week's video. So here you go, Webby. Shout out to you. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I also wanted to, you know, do a little shout out to some of my other friends. I don't know why I haven't been doing this every video, because I keep hearing from people that they're watching videos and excited to follow along. So of course, Rob and his wife Karen in Holland, and Rob met me in Naples and in Rome when I was on the road over there. And then Kuba, and you know, he's been following along, and I think he'll be joining me on the motorcycle trip next month. So that's pretty exciting. He wasn't sure if he's going to be able to, but I think he will now. And then Darina, my friend in Prague, also, she's watching. So that's been really fun. She's been excited for me, as everyone has, and that's made the whole process, you know, that much better. So yeah, and of course my parents, they watch every video. My mom has feedback, as I've shared with you at times, but she's always been super supportive and super happy for me. So that's really cool to so yeah, you know, friends here in Colorado, they're watching. Todd watches every single week. I really appreciate that. His garden is just blooming now, so he's getting all sorts of stuff. He loves to garden, so he's been sharing some photos about that, some incredible tomatillos. So that was great. Yeah, Randy in Denver, he said he's been watching every week too and following along, so that's been really nice. And, you know, just the support's been overwhelming. So, you know, not just that the number of subscribers is over 1,000 now, but each one of those subscribers is a person, and many of them are people I know. Many of them are people that are submitting comments, and I've exchanged comments back and forth with them, shared their opinions and excellent input and suggestions and ideas. So the whole process has been incredible, and it's not going to end here with me buying a place. So it's going to continue with me fixing it up, getting it ready, and then living there and just living, you know, the dolce vita, the sweet life in Italy. I can't wait to do that either. So lots of stuff coming up. The videos will continue. And once again, just thank you so much for following along, and stay tuned for more of Mike's Italian Grand Adventure. It's continuing. Thank you.